They say all happy families are alike, but all unhappy families are different. That's the first line of Tolstoy's Anna Karenina, and I find it extremely interesting because I don't know any happy family. But behind this line lies a question we still ask today. Why do some loves heal us and make us grow, and others just destroy the shit out of us? So that's why in today's video we'll dissect love, not to make it cold, pragmatic, and to remove all the mystery, but to understand its structure so that we can love and be loved better. It's a kind of video past me would have loved to watch, because love can be really mad and it feels like going in blindsided, so yeah. Hi, it's me, Paula, psychology student, and I also love books. So in this section of our channel, I take books, especially like classical literature that we all know, or at least have a big idea of, and kind of use it as examples of theoretical psychology to better your lives. And in this episode, or in this video, we'll dissect love by dissecting Anna Karenina. And yes, I love the word dissecting. First of all, the anatomy of attraction. There are some things that play a role in who we are attracted to. The first one being similarity. Similarity is not only looking at someone who's exactly like you and being attracted to them. You know what Freud said, that every girl wanted to F her father and every boy wanted to F his mom? Okay, that's of course not true, but you know what it is actually true? The fact that what we grow up with and the environment we have makes us feel safe, or at least maybe not physically safe, but at least it's what we know, and what we know makes us feel safe, right? More than what we don't know. So if we see some traits that are similar to our upbringing or similar to what we do or are, we're more likely to be attracted to this person. And what are the kinds of similarity? Because yes, you can have like physical and behavioral similarities, but you can also have, which are extremely important, value and cognitive similarity, which is having a similar set of values, similar beliefs, levels of education, occupation, cultures, language, traumas, even like hobbies. All those things are really important to form a relationship, and not only romantic. And that's important because to me, if I go back in time, I had a friend who used to smoke pot and a lot, and I'm literally the opposite. And we were friends for a long time, and people always would ask me, why the hell are you friends? Both of you are great, but why are you friends? Like, looking back, I would say that like our set of values were extremely similar, but yeah, at the end of the day, the friendship didn't last long because we indeed were not similar to habits. I used to go to bed at like 9:30 after reading for more than an hour, and she would smoke until 3 a.m. So yeah, we were just day and night. So we didn't work out. Nothing wrong with this girl. I still think she's amazing. Hope everything's going great with her. I said this because similarity is not only important for the initial attraction and infatuation to someone, but it is also important to have similar set of values, beliefs, and habits with someone if you want to, be with someone long term. Then we're gonna talk about familiarity. And what is familiarity? It's seeing someone or something recurringly. So for instance, do you remember the first time back in like 2021 or 2022, low-rise jeans started becoming a thing again? And most of us were like, this is fucking disgusting. Now we all wear them because we've seen them day and night for like 5 years. Not 5, but like 3. But now we all wear them because, time has passed and we've all seen them everywhere. So we've become accustomed to them. Another example is, for instance, the first day in school, you see your class and you're like, I just don't like these people. They are really different. And then in the end of the school year, because you've seen them each and every day, you're like, nah, what an amazing person. Do I know them? Not necessarily a lot. Do I share a lot of things with them? Nah. But yeah, they're so cool. They're great. It's because over time, you like people because you've seen them a lot. What can we take from this? Well, let me show you an experiment. There was an experiment and it was conducted in like dorms. And in a university, they gave like questionnaires to the students regarding their beliefs and attitudes towards stuff. And the hypothesis was that the people who shared more values would get more along than the people who didn't in the dorm room. Because the dorm room was the familiarity, they would see each other each and every day, and the similarity of values would be similarity. And so they found that people who are more similar in values, chances were they would become friends, but the people who saw each other, even if they had different beliefs, most of them didn't get along that much, or at least they didn't become friends. Most of them. I'm generalizing, which is something that we should not do that much, which is something that we shouldn't do that often, but anyway. Now, let's go to defining types of love. As we see in the book, Anna and Bronsky don't fall in love immediately. They kind of like are a bit attracted to each other immediately, but after repeated proximity, they start, you know, the air begins to get a bit more hot and dense. Now I'm gonna show you the tool I wish I had when I was younger and I was like finding love or trying to go through life without experience of love. And even if you have experience, sometimes love feels like being blindsided or kind of like not knowing exactly where you're going. You don't see the path. Here's like a torch. Sternberg's Triangular Theory of love. I will place it somewhere here and I have it down here and I will be explaining it to you because it's literally the tool that would have saved me a bunch of heartbreak. Let's dissect love. First of all, at the top you have intimacy. What is intimacy? It's emotional closeness with someone. It's the emotional depth you have with someone. If you only have intimacy, you like someone, you think they are cool. But liking in a way you like your friends, in a way you like your colleagues, in a way you like someone who you're okay with, but you don't necessarily would move mountains to be with them. In the other side, we have commitment. Commitment, we all know what commitment is, okay? And so if you have only commitment, you would have this type of relationship you would have if you had an arranged marriage and you had no passion or anything. It would just be like a contract. Business, baby. If your love life feels like a business, you only have commitment, it must be really dull. I feel sorry for yourself if you feel this way. Then, if you have the intimacy and the commitment, you have companionate love, which is typically seen in elderly couples who lack the passion but are still together and like each other. So it's kind of like a friendship in a marriage, which is great. You need to be friends with your spouse, but you also need the other extreme, passion. When you only have passion, this is infatuation. This is when you have some sort of like platonic love. Think of like celebrity crushes, people who you see across the room and are like, yeah, you know? It's pure irrational love, okay? If you have the commitment and the passion, you have fatuous love. Think of it as the kind of situationship where it has gone for like a long period of time, but you have no emotional depth. That. And now, the romantic love, where you have passion and intimacy, it's the kind of situationship where you have no commitment, but you feel so much for the person because you're so emotionally vulnerable, or at least you two like emotions and life and yada yada, and are also extremely passionate. And also, romantic love can be found in the early stages of love, where you are dating someone and you don't know for sure if it's gonna end up in a long-term relationship or not. And if romantic love passes on to be consummate love, kudos to you. You've achieved the epitome of love. Consummate love is what everyone wants. It's the rom-com type of love that actually doesn't die. Intimacy, commitment, and passion. You have all of the three, and you've gotten your happily ever after. But the thing is, Anna Karenina never got that. Because Anna's marriage to Karenin is pure commitment without intimacy or passion. Maybe they have a bit of intimacy, but it's barely anything. It's just lacking a lot of things. It's imbalanced. She feels empty because people, if they don't have consummate love, there's something in the back of their mind thinking like, maybe you know what, like love is supposed to feel more, like better. I'm supposed to feel more satisfied in my relationship, isn't it? It's because you don't have consummate love. Or maybe because you're overthinking stuff. But chances are it's because you lack something. And that's what was going on with Anna. In her first marriage, she was lacking a lot of passion and intimacy. And that's when she meets Bronsky. And Bronsky bursts with passion. So she goes from minus 1,000 of passion to 1,000. The change is too much. And they have a bit of intimacy also. But they lack the lasting commitment. And the passion wears off really quickly. Because passion is not something that some people say it's something that it goes away, but I don't think is what actually is going on. I just think that it's really easy to start a flame, but it's harder to keep the flame. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. You need to keep it up. You need to put the effort in. You need to be with someone that makes you feel happy each and every day, so that you have room to explore this person, because you're never gonna know everything about your partner. They always have things to surprise you, and they are, going also through their lives. And you two, and it's a great thing that the other person also has a life of their own, so that you two can, come together and actually sit, think, and grow, and find passion through actually liking the person and not only by attractiveness. To build intimacy and depth, I think passion with intimacy, depth, trust, and curiosity towards your partner can actually be achieved in couples who've been together for like ages. And also we need authenticity in order to love. Like if we're not being ourselves, we'll never get there. We'll never get to consummate love if we're not being 100,000% ourselves. And this is something that I have struggled with in the past. But guys, now that you have the triangle, just sit with it. I highly recommend you to sit with it and think of the things that you're doing great and the things that you're not doing that great, and things that your partner, if you have a partner, are doing great and not, and to talk about it, even if it's hard. Having hard conversations literally will make you the happiest. And if your partner makes hard conversations easier, that's everything. And also the similarity, something I forgot, but it's really adjacent to the topic we're talking to right now. Similarity doesn't only go with the type of person we are right now. Similarity also goes with the type of person we want to be, our ideal self, our aspirations, our drives, and what we aspire to be, who we wish to be. We are drawn to people who reflect that image. So just keep that in mind. That's why, you get what you are, or something like this, like kind of like Pinterest type of psychology are stating quotes like this, and it can actually, it has some truth to it. So what can we take of this video? First of all, something beautiful Bell Hooks said: love is not a feeling, but rather an action. You wake up each morning and you decide to love, and you act upon it. This literally changed my life. This changed the way I saw the world, because you do not only love your romantic partner, you love your life, and you try to love every aspect of your life. It's hard, but it's hella satisfying. And we've also learned that there are different types of love and different factors that play a role in who we are attracted to, and not only to who we are attracted to, but to who we form relationships with. And bear in mind, these three things, the three pillars, are really important. Go analyze it. I highly encourage you to not only comment down below if you feel like sharing anything with us, because it really helps me with the feedback, but also to you privately think of the pyramid, think of what you could better, what you could acknowledge that you're actually being good at. Do not only focus on the bad stuff. And yeah, without further ado, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe and give it a like because it helps me to understand what you guys want. Because this is a symbiotic relationship, we're helping each other out. And if you want to see more of me dissecting psychology through books, you have here the playlist called Literary Psychology. And without anything else to say, I will say goodbye. Have a nice week.